should help you back. Hey everybody, welcome to episode 5 already. Boy, they're flying by like crazy. Today we're going to go over just some basic road obstacles, and this video is going to be directed more at the the entry-level rider or people that got their first bike. I've had a lot of messages and questions and comments lately from a few different people thanking me for the videos, and they've also said that they've got just getting into it and they've got new bikes. So a lot of my videos are gonna, sometimes there's gonna be really hard ones, like the last hill climb one might be tricky for a lot of people, but then I'm gonna do ones like this that are aimed more at the entry-level people. So yeah, let's get started. So assuming you guys have been out for a couple rides, if it was my, second or third time on a bike, which was so long ago I can't even remember, this is the kind of stuff you're going to want to avoid. These big boulders, especially like these, all these loose round rocks like this. You don't want to plow into that with your front tire, because just think of it this way, your front tire leads your motorbike. So when you plow into boulders, let me turn the camera, I don't know if you can see that one there. If you plow into boulders like this with your front tire, it's probably just going to wash your front end out and you're probably going to just fall over. So what I always do when I'm going through, rocky areas like this or stuff like that, is I just try and guide your front tire on solid or ground. So try and avoid all those. And if you're confident enough and you already have the pop-a wheelies and stuff like that, then you can just do a little pop-a wheelie, because if the front tire makes it over, there's 99% chance the rear wheel will just follow. It's usually not the rear end that causes the trouble, it's the front end. I'll set my camera up and show you guys what I mean. Searching for solid ground is where you want your front tire. If you're a new rider, for most of us out there, this is just part of the road and it's not a big deal. But recently I've seen, riders in a section like this, and it actually discouraged them because it's quite rutted up. And all these little loose rocks, that's kind of, it feels like you're riding on marbles. So you should always try and search for the solid ground, like over here. Until you're confident enough to go through that, pick your lines wisely and watch out for all these, stuff like those round ones, and especially big ones like this. Even these smaller sticks, if that stick was wet and you hit it on that angle, that's going to cause your front tire just to probably wash out. So once you get good enough, you'll just, you'll be able to give it a little gas and almost pop a wheelie over it. But I'll set the camera up and show you guys kind of what I would consider, a safe line. So standing up gives you your most balance and control. But if you don't feel confident doing that yet, then just one leg out, slow, and assuming you're a really new rider, you should try and keep your feet on the pegs at all times. But these round rocks really discourage people. When you get into washed out sections like this, you're going to want to cross. This rut's not too bad, but when you get big ruts in the road, you're going to kind of want to be square to them. So same with, there's a bigger one up above there. So, or what I'll do is I'll ride the low side, like I was saying, try and stay out of these round, like these little guys, like those are just like riding on marbles. So you're definitely going to want to avoid those if you can, because those things usually make you go down, like if you're a newer rider. Like what I do is I just wheelie over all of it fast with lots of momentum, and the back end is usually going to follow. But I'll throw the tripod up and we'll give it a go here and get a couple shots, and I'll just break it down a little bit for you. So this part of the road, like this rut here, is not too bad, but you're going to want to avoid those, the round, like these ones here. And even these in the middle of the road, that's the kind of stuff that a lot of riders go down on. You don't want to plow into those with your front tire. So just try and line things up at square, like 90 degrees. So cross it, you know, like a square. I'll show you what I mean here. See what I did there is I gave it a little blast of the throttle, like just a little one, and that makes your light end, your front end light. So just like you know how you compress the forks, and when you give it a little gas, the springs unload the front end and it gets light. So that helps you, instead of plowing into it, you kind of float over it, if that makes sense. So this rut here on the road is pretty common for a lot of people, and I'll go into it and I'll try and show you what I mean by not doing it the right way. I'll try and do it without falling too, because nobody likes to fall, but I'll give you an idea of, if you're not at 90 degrees, this is the kind of thing that can happen. So you can see how when the front tire plows into it, it doesn't want to climb up on it. It just, you know, it tends to ride along it like a train track. So you always want to be as, you know, as square as possible to stuff like that. And if you're hauling butt down the road, you definitely don't want to get near ruts, because that'll put you on your head quicker than you know it. So I'll come into this rut a little faster and I'll show you what I mean by, once you get confident, you can just lighten the front end with a little bit of throttle. If you're really confident, you can just wheelie over it. And I'll show you how the rear end just simply follows. See, I actually applied that bunny hop thing I was talking about in my log episode near the beginning. How if you force the suspension down, the bike, when the springs unload, it's gonna lighten the bike and it's gonna help you float over the rut. So yeah, I hope that helps some of you guys. Keep your body position central. You know, stay a little loose and ready to adjust for whatever happens. I'm gonna say keep stiff arms, but that's kind of a no-no on motorbikes. You should kind of relax and, you know, be prepared to make, you know, counter adjustments. But just try on smaller things, find what suits, you know, there's a fly bug in the camera. Find out what suits your own style and then just progress from there. Start small and then go bigger and bigger till you feel comfortable. But for now, stay loose, relaxed, and just approach, you know, these loose hills and things like that with a little bit of confidence, and don't back down. Just stay determined, because if you doubt yourself, it's probably not going to work out for you. So yeah, I hope that helps. So here's a real common scenario. And again, this video is just directed at some of the riders, you know, the entry-level riders that are just getting out there and getting used to some of the smaller obstacles and stuff. There's another example of just like the ruts. You're going to want to, if this log was wet, it would be really slippery. So you're going to want to have to keep your tire square. You're going to want to cross it just like an X, or I mean a plus sign. So I'll do it a couple times and show you what I mean, but crossing these things, you know, like a plus sign square, that's going to keep you from going down. So I'll show you what I mean here. And once you get confident, wheeling over debris and stuff like this will be no big deal. So another way you can cross ruts, and actually I forgot to mention it because I just did it and I didn't even realize I was doing it, is if you have to cross a rut, this is a bit more advanced, but you'll get the idea, is you weight the bike as you go across the rut. So what that'll do is help the knobbies dig into it. So at the exact same time you're crossing it, you're pushing down with the bike. So that's a little more advanced, and I would only try that if you're confident, but I'll grab a couple shots here and I'll run it in slow-mo for you and see if you can see what I mean. So that works actually exceptionally well. It even works better when the ground's damp like it is today, because all you're doing, you're forcing your knobbies into the side of the rut. So that's kind of a sketchy move though, so only try that if you're confident, but it's just one of the ways you can do it, and I've been doing it for years, so hope that helps. So that's going to wrap up episode 5, you guys. That's, I guess, basic skills video, so I'll probably do a few more of these. That's kind of the fundamentals for all motorcycles, I guess. So, and I enjoy doing them. It really, you got to learn the small stuff before you get to the big stuff. So drop a comment. Feel free to message me on one of my social medias. I got the links are all in the description, and hit the like button. Drop a comment. If you're not subscribed, definitely do that. That way you'll get your little notification there when I put out new videos. So if you want to check out my Patreon, that's also in the description. That's just a way, you know, it's by contribution only, so there's no obligation. It's just a way to say thanks, or, you know, you want to buy me a beer, or you appreciate the videos, and that's the easiest way to do it. So I appreciate you guys watching, and I will catch you on the next one. Have a good one.